We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live.
Now, I know this is not the news a lot of you guys wanted, but it is what it is. Tio Fimo Lopez, he's making it sound like Shakur is going to run in their fight. So in terms of entertainment value, now some boxing fans are definitely becoming skeptical. That's what I'll take you through in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I did peep this on Teofimo's page. You should see it on your screen. He is basically insinuating that Shakur will run. Look. Why? See, look, running around the ring. No.
I don't like to lose. Second.
The fart noise out of pocket. Bro, I mean, if there's another way to interpret this, he's using, I think this is a Jerry Lewis movie, and he's literally running laps around the ring, and it says, the best defensive fighter, and he's pointing, and it says, Tio Shakur, January 31st, hashtag boxing at the Garden. Now, I will be real. When this fight was first announced, I wasn't really excited. The reason I wasn't really excited is for this reason. And let me say this real quick. If you have followed my journey throughout this boxing game for over 10, 12 years, daily coverage, grinding, you'll know I'm not a big proponent. I'm not like one of them people that was like, this guy's a runner. This guy's a marathon runner, track star. She's a runner, she's a track star. Right? That's never really been my language on my show, right? And I'm talking about dating back. However, there are times where you have particularly these new school fighters and they're trying to win, and they are actually putting up boring fights, right? And I'm not for nothing. I'm not one of those people that, oh, Floyd Mayweather, like you've never heard me say Floyd is a runner and all that type of stuff. Never been on that, right? However, I am realistic and I'm a realist, and some performances just aren't entertaining. I remember watching Robert Easter versus Francis Bartholomew. It just wasn't a good fight. Some fights, the styles clash, and they're not fun. I mean, even Erislandy Lara, I'm a big fan of his, but he has had some fights where I think he fought an Italian dude when PBC was with Fox, and it just wasn't a great fight, right? You guys could look up the dude's name. But he's had some performance like that. But then there's other performances like the Paul Williams fight, the Angulo fight, the Canelo fight that are masterful. But particularly this new generation, there are some guys like Shakur or whoever, Devin Haney, where they'll talk all this like knockout stuff and I'm going to destroy you and you're no match for me. And then when they get in the ring, none of that can be seen, or at least with certain opponents. Now, my fear for Shakur is this. With Shakur, I feel like Shakur for his last fight, he dealt with criticism, and Turkey put the pressure on. He was like, I'm paying great money for these shows. I don't want to see no Tom and Jerry style boring fights. It's not my thing. I'm not a fan of it, right? And that put additional pressure on guys like Shakur, because that's who fans thought of. They're like, hey, Nakathila, your performance with Edwin De Los Santos on a Thursday, these just weren't good fights, right? They weren't entertaining. Tim Bradley was like, oh, I need a cup of coffee live on the broadcast with ESPN. He was like, I'm about to fall asleep. So you couldn't, even Tim Bradley, who's not really been a fan of Gervonta Davis, I'll say, if he was covering Gervonta Davis's fight, he would look like an idiot talking about, I can't hold my eyes open, Tank's putting me to sleep. Because I've literally covered Tank's whole career, and I've been to Tank fights live. He don't have no fights where it was just like painfully awful to watch and there was zero intensity, zero energy. Again, styles make fights. But Shakur, he's very efficient. He does what he does, and it is what it is. But now Teofimo is basically suggesting that Shakur is finna run. And this was one of my worries with this particular fight, not only on Shakur's part, but the matchup. Because Tio is an athletic guy too, and a counterpuncher. And despite all the banter and the back and forth, I think these guys truly respect each other. So you could have such a chess match where, at least in the early rounds and stuff, no one's really trying to commit and everyone's like trying to feel their way around and battle for the lead hand. And there's not that much offense unless somebody gets clipped or something. And then it's like off to the races. So I don't really know what to expect. I think I do, but it's boxing, so I guess I'll wait to see. What Shakur says, he's about getting the job done, so he don't care, whatever it takes. But I truly believe this. I also believe that Shakur feels that he did his service in the Zepeda fight, even though it has nothing to do with Teofimo. I believe that Shakur believes that I battled the pressure. I, quote, fought how you guys wanted me to fight, and I beat Zepeda at his own game. So get off my back. Now I'm going to go back to fighting however I want, which against a guy like Tio Fimo Lopez, I can imagine he might be a bit cautious and apprehensive and more like when he was fighting Zepeda and guys like Edwin De Los Santos. Could be wrong, but I could be very right too. So that's the feeling I've been getting. Maybe Shakur can surprise people, but I've been getting the feeling that Shakur, he already told you he was sore after the Zepeda fight. He told you in interviews and statements, I ain't never got hit that much. I ain't never been that sore after my fights. I'm not used to that, blah, blah, blah. He has a great plus minus. So I think he's going to go back to that, which is good in terms of him winning. But as far as anticipated main event, if you're expecting a high octane type of fight, I really don't know that will be delivered. Again, I'm trying to go into it optimistic. I'm warming up. I like the addition of Keyshawn and Jermaine Ortiz. That's a good little co-main event and sleeper fight. But I got an eyebrow raised about this particular fight, and I'm not the only one. Clearly, Tio thinks that Shakur is going to try to run when he feels that power and rhythm and speed and basically his style. Let me know in the comment section if you think Shakur will run or will he pick spots to stand up and trade his ground. And here's the thing is, like, some people compare Shakur to Floyd. I don't really see that. I don't see that comparison at all. Floyd, I've watched him hurt his hand, have cuts, get hurt, fight off the ropes, fight in the center of the ring, mix it up in the rounds, throw his right so many different ways, throw uppercuts, fight off the ropes, come forward, walk somebody down, fight off the back foot. I don't really feel like most people in this new generation is giving you all them different looks. Like Devin Haney, very good, but he got clipped in the first round by Ryan Garcia, who barely even trained. Floyd would never. Zepeda punched Shakur into the ropes and he fell back like that. He said he wasn't hurt, whatever, but it still looked ugly. You had guys like Oscar De La Hoya and Miguel Cotto, who are leagues above that version of William Zepeda, far more experienced guys, and they never even did all that to Floyd Mayweather, right? So these young guys, it's like a lot of talk, yap, talk, and there's some skill there, and they could develop. But I feel like this new social media babies, it is not quite matching up. Like Shakur said he'll beat Canelo if they were the same size. He said he would beat Manny Pacquiao in his prime, right? He said when he was like 18, 19, he could beat Pretty Boy Floyd. Your performances don't match that. And then if you fight a guy like Teofimo, yes, he's dangerous. Yes, he's athletic. Yes, he has rhythm. Yes, he has an American style, right? But if you fight him and you fight him, quote unquote, running all the time or scary, then it's going to make me question your skill set, comparatively speaking, to the legends of the sport, because the talk doesn't match. There's no man that Floyd faced, from Conor McGregor, I don't know what you're thinking, who the f is that, right, to Canelo. Like, Conor McGregor was bigger than Floyd, and he's a wild card because he had power. He's a southpaw, and you didn't know how he was going to fight. He was doing these weird, like, warm-ups. You didn't know. That sometimes fighting a guy like that with no style can be worse for you because he's too unpredictable. Like Emmanuel Augustus, Drunken Monkey, Emmanuel Burton, right? Gave Floyd issue because you don't know what to expect from weird styles. So a lot of people talk about like, oh, this guy can't fight. Oh, da-da-da. Fear. You see, that's how I know some people who watch the channel have never been in a fight. Sometimes fear can turn into ambition, and a person being fearful and scared of you also could be like, it can almost be worse than fighting somebody who is more put together, because that fearful person, you don't know what they're capable of doing. Or they might throw some crazy stuff where, like, if you're a textbook fighter, you're going to be fighting like by the book. That's what made Roy Jones Jr. such a phenom in boxing, because he wasn't textbook. You can't really teach that. Put your hands behind your back. I wasn't chicken fight, Jim. I wasn't grabbing the rope. I said, don't do that. Like, you can't really teach that. So that's what makes a lot of the athletic guys formidable when they're against the grain. And sometimes when you fight someone who can't fight, right, they'll just throw like caution to the wind trying to catch you, or like elbow you or cut you, you know what I mean? Because they can't fight and they don't have a technique. They don't have a style. So I'm already giving y'all too much gems. For more boxing breakdowns, holla at the kid. Subscribe to the channel. I'll keep cooking and talking about this fight, but let me know if you think Shakur is going to fight negative and like do a lot of laps or whatever. And again, I'm not a big person who's like, oh, this person's running or whatever, but I feel Shakur, given his last fight, he's not going to want to go in them deep waters with Tio Fimo Lopez. So it's up to him to prove me wrong. Let me know what you think. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that.
If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I could provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new, but even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate. So ultimately,